So, we'll go on. And now, ladies and gentlemen, she has been called the strong voice of the UN of Music. And she is the head of a worldwide network of an outreach to more than 200 million members. She grew up in former East Germany in an era of censorship and restrictions. Her classical music education sparked a lifelong passion for music. Please welcome the Secretary General of the International Music Council, Silja Fischer. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's a great honor and pleasure.
So, we described the International Music Council a bit. It's the biggest umbrella organization representing basically, I would say, almost all music organizations in the world. I'm exaggerating a bit, but it's by far the largest. But can you please tell the audience, what do you do actually? What is the International Music Council and what are the goals?
Yes. As you said, once again, thank you for having me. Hello, everybody. The International Music Council is, as you said, Alfons, really a platform for every music organization or institution in the world, wanting to help us promote the vision and the mission of the International Music Council that is reflected in our 5 music rights, which you find right behind me on the screen. And the International Music Council can be seen from, I would say, 3 different angles. We are an advocacy body for the 5 music rights. We are a project organization, and we are a membership organization. And the glue, if I may say so, that brings all these angles together are the 5 music rights. Through our members, we can advocate for the rights at local, national, regional, international level. At international level, the Secretariat of the IMC in Paris is focusing its advocacy work at UNESCO with its 196 member states. Why UNESCO? Because UNESCO is the only UN agency with a clear cultural mandate. We also try to implement projects, implement actions that promote one or the other of the 5 music rights with regard to music, access to music education, or the recognition of musicians, access to facilities for musicians, freedom of expression.
To me, this sounds very much like building bridges, what we try to do at the Polar Music Prize. And also it was founded, from what I understand, after World War II, also in order to actually build bridges and connect through music rather than other means of interconnection. So what you do is basically also building bridges within the music world, so to say. So what are your members? Maybe it could be good just to understand what are the members. Could you give just a few examples of this, so from different
We have
areas?
a great diversity of members, and I think diversity is the topic here in the room right now. We have our members range from big international organizations that are really working or having members themselves in many, many regions of the world, working in the fields of musicians' rights, or in the field of contemporary music creation, or in the choral world, or music and media, so quite a wide range. We also have organizations that work more at regional level, and when I say regional level, it's Europe, Africa, the Arab world, the 3 Americas. And we have also organizations that whose scope is more at national level or even at very local level, and these can be music venues. For example, the National Performing Arts Center in Mumbai is a member, or who work in research institutions, so quite a diverse range of members actually. And building bridges, yes, I think my task as Secretary General is to connect people and initiatives, and when I see this happen, I just came back from the European Forum on Music. We're actually at a panel that I could moderate. The forum was about music and global and cultural diplomacy, and it was linking continents, building, bridging cultures. And I moderated a panel about those bridging cultures projects. So we heard about examples of music projects in Cyprus, trying to bridge the Greek and the Turkish communities through musical dialogue. Or we heard about a project that actually originated years ago at one of our World Forum on Music between two member organizations, one from Sweden and one from the US, but they did a project in Amman in Jordan together that gave voice through music to young children and youth. And this was documented by a film crew by students from the US, students who never had left the country, far away from going to the Arab world, and who grew up with the backdrop of 9/11, of course. So there, a lot of bridges were built.
Also, what you explain, and which goes for most countries, is that you have your own view on the world, and you also have world-famous musicians, composers that are world-famous in your town, and maybe actually not in the whole world or in your region. This is also one of the reasons that we reached out to you and the International Music Council to build bridges across these regions. Because sometimes we, of course, as the Polar Music Prize, we want to be truly global, but it's very difficult when you don't have, you know, the strength of actually having a close connection with the regions, knowing it all in the region. So what would you say, what are the differences in these regions? Do you see any challenges? And how would you describe it? How does the world of music look in your eyes?
Well, first of all, let me just say we are so excited about this new collaboration and really aiming together to bring more a broader reach into the nomination process for the Polar Music Prize. And what we suggest here is to address the issue that you just mentioned, is to bring in our regional music councils that are regional groups of the International Music Council, which bring together our members in a specific region, once again Africa, the Arab world, the three Americas, Europe, Asia, and who have a very good knowledge of the music life in those regions and a good insight, and not only through the members but also through the partners that they have been working with over the years doing projects. And as you say, the challenge is that there are a good number of musicians that enjoy immense reputation within their region or within their sub-region even, and that have also left their comfort zone as a musician and decided to also make a very valuable contribution to society. So the reach of these musicians remains limited, though, for them. And they are not yet maybe known to the international community, but we, through our members, through our regional music councils, do know about them. And also through our project, we have built a very good group of informants, if I may say so, to create the awareness and to be able also to bring potential laureates to the awareness, to the attention of the award committee of the Polar Music Prize. Now about the challenges, well, as you know, challenges are opportunities. I think the challenges but the opportunities lie in the great diversity of the regions themselves. Sometimes we have to remind our colleagues that, for example, Africa is not a country. Africa is an immense continent with, I think, 54 countries and an unimaginable number of ethnicities, cultures, languages. And you just think about the great diversity of cultural, musical expressions that is connected to this. So through our members, once again, we can reach out to tap into this potential and bring this to the attention, not only of the global music world, but also of the general public at large.
I think it's obvious for everyone to realize that there could be challenges and that we certainly are different and have different relations maybe to our music. But tell us a bit about the 5 music rights, because what you actually did was to reach out globally to see where the common denominators were. And you were able, which is quite difficult, I know that working in cultural and musical politics, to have 5 things that you actually agree upon in the whole world. Could you tell us a bit on how this came about and how you use it?
How this came about, actually we wanted to translate what is written in very official documents like the UN Covenant on Cultural Rights or on the Universal Declaration for Human Rights, to bring it down to the very issue of music, to translate it, to make it more tangible also for the music field. And so a group of people within the IMC sat down and tried to do this work and came up with these 5 music rights, which were adopted in 2001 by our General Assembly, so by all members of the International Music Council. And these are our core values, and we try to formulate projects, do all our advocacy work around these 5 rights. And we also wish to recognize, of course, the efforts that are being made worldwide to implement or illustrate those rights. And if you let me just speak
Absolutely.
about the last Sunday in Cyprus, during the European Forum on Music, we awarded this year's IMC Music Rights Awards. We had the great pleasure and honor to have one of our first IMC Music Rights champions with us, Rami Assam from Egypt, who was there with us to present the award to the representatives of the winning projects. Because these awards are not about persons, although we know it's always persons behind a project, but we give this award to projects or programs, and this year we could honor, recognize projects from Africa, from Asia, and from Europe. One project from Pakistan, for example, it's about teaching music to children with special needs education and truly transforming their lives through music. And another winning project is from Mali, which promotes local cultures, local musical cultures, but also local culture industries during an annual festival on the Niger River. And the third one, which is a very new project, aims to bring more audience development consideration into the classical music competitions for youth across Europe. So once again, a great diversity of
I think it's fantastic.
issues.
And I have an idea now. We haven't talked about it, but maybe we can just seal a deal right here. And that would be also having a collaboration as regards to our international series of Polar Talks, because it seems suitable for us to also, with you, reach out in these regions with extended talks, of course, and also hopefully already next year, maybe invite someone through your network in order to expand also the scope of the Polar Talks here in Stockholm. Should we?
With great pleasure.
Okay,
Well,
so that's a deal.
on this, if I may
yeah.
just say something. Last year, at the Polar Talks, you had invited Emily Acheng-Akuno from Kenya,
Yes.
who spoke here about challenges, opportunities about music education. And I have the great pleasure to announce here that Emily Acheng-Akuno was elected the first female president of the International Music Council on Monday.
That's
so it's
fantastic.
A very new, very fresh news.
And well deserved, very much so.
Indeed.
So, your view, of course, of the Polar Music Prize. I know that you appreciate any kind of music. Do you have any other prizes and awards that you have been working with? Is this a new thing for the International Music Council, except your own
The
rewards?
Well, the International Music Council has been given between 1975 and 2005 an International Music Prize together with UNESCO. There's a story about this that I wanted to share also, because we were talking about unknown artists.
Yes.
And in 1995, this prize went to Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan from Pakistan. A great, I think he died almost 10 years ago, a great Qawwali performer, an icon for the Sufi community. And this prize was hosted by the city of Aachen back then, and the Aachen city is also the host to the Charlemagne Prize, for those who know. But when we informed our colleagues in Germany about the choice of the jury, they would say, but more or less, why would you choose a person that nobody knows? And it was a great learning curve for them, because I can tell you they had to, when they started to organize the concert for Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, they had to change the venue because they were overwhelmed by requests for tickets.
Of course.
And they ended up in a 2,000-seat venue for this icon, and so far for unknown persons.
Listen, I'm not sure actually if do we have any possibility of, do we have a mic if someone has a question and want to interact here? We have a couple of minutes. We haven't really rehearsed this, but there's a mic. So is there anyone who would like to take the opportunity to ask Silja something of the collaboration or of the work of the International Music Council? Please feel free. I think you were...
Maybe while you think, I would like to say something about diversity and the organization.
Yes.
It's not just regional diversity. It's really diversity of components of the music life, from broadcasting to publishing, from creators to amateur music making to high-level music making. But it's also a diversity of issues, of topics that are being addressed. Freedom of expression is a great topic. Audience development is a great topic. Cooperation, diversity, access. So also this diversity of topics. And during our daily work, we see it as I said, every day. It's also diversity of gender and age, and I know that gender diversity will also be discussed here.
We will after this panel, yes.
So it's really diversity in all its forms that we can bring to the Polar Music Prize.
But all of these issues you've been working with for years, and the IMC has been working with them. Do you see any progress? Are we moving towards a more inclusive society seen from this cultural and musical aspect? Or is it getting tougher? Because we hear about the power of music, but also how the power of music can be dangerous in certain countries.
Yes.
So what is your view, really, with the work that you're doing? Or is it getting more positive?
Well, I think it's both. We do see progress in certain things, and of course, those in the room will know when you do a project, you work with beneficiaries. It's gratifying to see that someone comes years later and tells someone else, this person changed my life. That's great. This is really wonderful. Or so you see the progress, but on the other hand, you also see recess. You see more and more difficulties, and even freedom of expression, for example. Even in Europe, we are made aware of issues that come up and that we would not have thought about before, and also the whole issue about financing for cultural organizations, for umbrellas, for networks like ours and others in other arts fields. It's a big issue. It's a very big issue, and not to speak, of course, about music being abused for political reasons. So you have it all.
And you have
once again, it's also great diversity.
And you do have another region that you did not have in 1949, and that's the digital region. And that I know that you're also working on a digital agenda for making it possible also to include those not being able to actually join you, for example, at the General Assemblies and making their voices heard. Where are we in that? Is this working in the regions where there are not possibilities to actually
I think
join you in other ways?
Thanks to digital, there is much more inclusiveness in decision making or in exchange already. For example, the board of our Music Council of the Three Americas does only meet on Skype, only exclusively, and we can make decisions. We prepared a conference, so to say, over Skype about decolonizing music. And so still inclusion is a big issue for us, and we really want to harness this potential of the digital shift to bring more people, allow all our members to take part in decision-making processes at the General Assembly. So we will try to also have web streaming at General Assembly so that everybody can follow the discussions and also bring in topics during the discussion, so that we can consider everybody's concerns and comments and suggestions.
Well, I know for a fact that the International Music Council has changed the world of music. And I'm very glad, as the chairman of the award committee of the Polar Music Prize, because I know that you will also be part in changing the way the Polar Music Prize works in the future. So thank you very much for that, and thank you for coming. So,
thank you very much for having us, and for the opportunity. And let's get to work.
Absolutely.
Immediately. Thank you very much.
Just wait there and I'll be with you in a while.
Very good.
Thanks.